Hey, welcome back everybody to Ask the Panel Guys, where we have a special guest and our very first guest from 3A Composites, Miss Debbie Sulewski.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, glad you're here. Glad you could make it down to Atlanta. So we're going to talk about ALUCOBOND, and specifically ALUCOBOND Plus, the product, and we're going to talk colors and trends within the industry. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so how are color trends determined in North America, and how is 3A Composites working with the design community to get them what they want?
Well, the color marketing group is an important part of what we utilize. I read a lot. There's a lot of trend reporting that are either released by architectural firms or a lot of different publications like BD&C. And I'll extract that information. Also, I rely on our paint suppliers to provide us with some trend reports and what they're seeing on the mega trends and the macro trends, so that we can kind of deliver it more on the micro level.
So what would one of these reports look like? Would they say we're going a lot of blue this year?
You'll see in about 2 months.
2 months?
Because I'll be delivering ours
to
our sales team in December, and
right.
then I can present it to you either virtually or in person.
Okay,
so I don't want to give too much away right now.
Okay, I don't want you to spill the beans, but when you say influencers, are you talking political? Are you talking?
Political.
You mentioned earlier pop culture. I mean, is Kim Kardashian involved in this?
No.
Okay, I was a little. I was thinking for a second I might be in the wrong business.
No, but you know, I mean, music is connecting to people, right? And we are all in this need for human connection. We've all been so distant from one another, and you know, it's about visual imagery and telling a story behind some of the colors that we're selecting. But this is kind of building on the Wanderlust selection because of our product cycle, which was released in March, which almost didn't happen because of the pandemic. And we had to make a decision then, right? So we spent pretty much, it takes about a year to develop a product launch, and determining the colors and the finishes that we needed and what I thought the market needed to put us in a position of strength and more competitive, I should say. But when we look at the project cycle of the material on the projects, then also incorporate trends, we have to see 2 years out. And the Color Marketing Group is an international organization that I belong to and I'm very active in, and it will develop regional color stories and palettes based on a multitude of industries. So from interiors to exteriors to raw paint supplies to materials and finishes. We'll do some future forecasting that is beyond that 2 years of what we think sustainability efforts are going to be. You know, the purse I brought today was made out of 15 plastic bottles. You know, a pair of shoes that I bought are all recycled materials. So, you know, how is that going to transcend moving forward? So it's a variety of people that are members internationally, and then they'll set reports that are for Latin America, Asia Pacific, South America, and North America, and then I'll take some of that information, incorporate that into our trend report as well, and then develop our own stories based upon what we see in our market for what was pertinent to us as partners.
Right.
And moving forward, you know, where do we see the building materials industry going, and what is it that we want to start to promote?
So is this color marketing group, are they possibly the influencers if they're providing this report that says these are the colors for 2020? Or, you know, are they the ones forecasting everything and everybody else follows, or are they identifying what has already happened and alerting people to follow?
Well, we're forecasting 2 years out.
Okay.
So we just, for this year in 2020, we forecasted the 2022 color palette based on mega trends and macro trends, and what we see in our various industries.
Right.
I have my input based on what we do and what we make every day, and then you'll have manufacturers like Merck that are creating those paints and ink coatings that are being sold to PPG or Sherwin-Williams, whatever they may be. And then you've got Sherwin-Williams is a member. Laminate, I used to design laminate manufacturers are part of that. So you're extracting from a broad wealth of knowledge from people in their expert fields and kind of putting it all together into a story. And you have to kind of make it your own to some degree, right? Not everything that happens on the interior side happens on the exterior, but I believe that there is a connection. We also do focus groups, like this year travel has been limited, of course, but if we're traveling to meet with architects, I did some field studies last year. I brought along some samples and put them on the table and met with some architects and said, tell me what you like and what you don't like. I'm not going to be offended. And, that kind of gives me some guidance as to what they're looking for moving forward. And then we can kind of, take the next step to further develop some of those finishes.
Interesting. Yeah, I like the idea of the focus groups because that's concrete feedback that you get.
And every region is different, right? So we can have the South as compared to the Pacific Northwest, as compared to Minnesota and the Dakotas, and then the Northeast is its own element.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let me ask you a question right here. I'm hitting you cold on this one, but how tough and has it changed how you market to a work from home architect or designer?
It's been a little challenging. Because we developed brand new sample kits that were meant for fabricators to take our new collection of 86 different colors into the architectural firms and to the GCs, and nobody's traveling. So trying to rely on social media has been a big part of our strategy. LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Pinterest is getting a lot of traction, not just with homeowners, but with designers across the board. But it's important for us to communicate to the architecture community in any way that we can.
You have seen a ton of ALUCOBOND projects. What's your favorite ALUCOBOND project of all time?
Well, I think from an iconic perspective is Spaceship Earth. It just resonates as a kid, right? And seeing that and being there as a child, but then also taking my kids and having that picture in the background with Mickey Mouse, right? It has a lot of meaning, an emotional connection. But I think one of my favorite projects has been with the Future House with Virginia Tech, which I believe MillerClapperton was also the fabricator. And my son went to Virginia Tech, so I'm a little biased, but
it's on a different scale of square footage. Shout out to John W. McDougall. Project looks great.
I mean, it was just a really, really interesting architectural project for the school to participate in. We just sent in some new replacement panels for that this year.
And that's traveled all over the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I just find that fascinating to think that the architectural school is doing that. And they're building this innovation campus in Alexandria. And if I could do my education all over again, would I go back to school and as an architect? Maybe. I don't know.
Based on my kids' experience at school, I wish I could go back to school. It's quite the all-inclusive resort nowadays.
It's very different than when I was in school.
So I love your first choice on Spaceship Earth. That is the ALUCOBOND project that I think everybody in North America thinks of, and if they know it's ALUCOBOND, and it's
we try
amazing.
To promote it, and our sustain. We're the first, right? So 1969, it started to be produced in the United States, and I think it was 78 was the Spaceship Earth, but. It's the durability of the material. There's been no issues with the material from the time that it's been installed, and the anodized material shows that color play at night compared to the day. So it's just it's a very, very cool project. And
as a fabricator, there are some. It's not on the ball, but on the panel. Some of the panels on the sides of the base or podium of it, they're huge, and they have radius corners on them. They're just as a geeked out panel guy, you appreciate the complexity of it. So not everybody gets it. I understand. But yeah, that's a great choice in that future house, future house. That's a pretty cool project as well. So I agree. Good choices. Okay, let's talk about something else that 3A offers to complement its ALUCOBOND Plus products, and that's the accent sheet metal. So as a fabricator, that's a big deal for us because we're always asked to provide color matched 040 flashings, and y'all have stepped up to the plate and are offering many colors in 48 by 120 to help out the fabricators and installers on that. So tell us a little bit about that. I think y'all have probably about 20 colors. Is that correct?
Give or take, yeah. We also have the made-to-order program.
Right.
So we extracted our biggest movers, of course, from ALUCOBOND Plus to complimentary offer in accent. And then some of the colors we also made to order. And that's, we're going to see how it goes. If they increase in demand, we can always add them as a stock. But at least we've lowered our minimum by half to 2,000 square foot minimum. And then also increased our stocking platform. So it's made a big difference with some of our national contracts where we're providing material for retail branding, let's just say. I can't mention the name as a company. But having that material in stock has been a godsend because the competition was 4 and 6 weeks out, and we could provide it in less than 2.
Yeah.
We've increased our stocking platform for accent so that we offer complementary patterns in our printed ALUCOBOND Plus finishes where accent is not available. We'll be releasing a flip book that will provide some visual imagery. So if we have whites, for example, we have bone white, alabaster, and maybe magnolia. We'll have some visual imagery that will go along with the printed ALUCOBOND Plus material, chestnut or rusted metal. So we showed it to the sales team on Friday. They were very, very excited about it because it's a good tool to help the fabricator decide, well, if I have, and there's been a couple of instances with one of our reps where an architect says, what color can you recommend for rusted metal? And a lot of them think that maybe hazelnut mica might work. Not so much. Yeah. It's a little bit of a clash, like you're trying to match and miss. So you're better off with something maybe graphite mica or dusty charcoal or focus black that offers a little bit more of a complementary feature versus trying to match and miss.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
So many people are color ignorant, myself included, and the suggested color, complementary colors is going to be a big help for people like myself.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and the accent colors flat sheet program is important because now when a roofer or somebody else doing adjacent materials to our panels needs flat sheets, they don't necessarily have to come to us for the flat sheets. They can go directly to ALUCOBOND and say, hey, I need 40 sheets of this because I got to do the copings on the entire building, not just above the ALUCOBOND Plus material. So yeah, that's a big help in the industry. Thank y'all for doing that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're very excited about it, and it's gained a lot of positive feedback, like you said, amongst the roofers and fabrication partners.
Great. So let's talk about something else on y'all's website, which is alucobondusa.com. So check it out. But y'all have something on there called Facade Maker. Tell us about that.
It's a fun tool.
Yeah, it looked fun.
If you want to see what our product is going to look like on the building, you can select your material and your finish. You can alter and transform the shape of the building. You can make the panels concave or convex. You can add up to 6 or 8 different panel sizes. It's a really fun tool. It was initiated by our sister office in Singen, Germany. And we added it to our website earlier in the year, and it's been a big help. So yes, we can offer images to the architect. They can drop it into Revit if they want to see their actual building, because the building on the Facade Maker doesn't change in terms of the width and the height of the building.
So is it a set building on Facade Maker?
Yes. So we're looking at different ideas for next year in terms of offering different sets. But from a coding perspective, it's really complicated. But it does allow you to at least see what our material could look like on the facade of that building. And you can see the color shift like on Ocean and Sakura. You can see that, or the Cupral, which is a big mover. You can see the shades of the orange and the red on there. And then you can see, offer some inspiration to the architect. It doesn't have to just be a flat panel, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a flat silver, gray, or white panel. It could have some dimension and shadowing, and depending upon which paint you're selecting. It's really a wonderful tool, and we're very excited about it.
That's great. So check it out, ALUCOBONDUSA.com, facade maker. So it's very cool. So as usual, you can follow us at Ask the Panel Guys, and you can follow me on Instagram at The Panel Guy, and you can also follow 3A Composites at ALUCOBONDUSA.com and ALUCOBONDUSA on Instagram.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you've learned something today, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate this. It's been an honor to be here, and it's been lovely to meet you in person, and we appreciate your partnership very much.
Thank you.
It's a good partnership we have with you, and looking forward to building on that in the next few years.
Yes, well, we appreciate y'all being such a great vendor and a great manufacturer and the grandfather of the industry that we are all in. So that's great. That's a wrap, guys. Thank y'all.